Everybody, and if anyone has a question, I'll be happy to try and answer. You know, every meditation class is a little bit different. I mean, some of them, it's like angels flying all around us and incredibly rich energy. And then sometimes it's really difficult to get through a meditation class. But each of them is an opportunity to grow. I mean, when there's a lot of energy and your heart's really open and things are moving really well inside, it's just taking it deeper. And when it's difficult to work through the meditation, it's really a time to learn how to deal with that. That life itself has very times that are very wonderful and creative and easy, and other times they're very difficult. So we need to learn to work with both of them. And then, meditation classes change. We sit down in every class, we're a little bit different than we were the time before. And the class is going to be different. So it's really, whether or not we use whatever the circumstances are to build a stronger inner life. There's a lot of Shakti and everything's flowing. Just open your heart really deeply and take it all in and let it really expand you. If you feel like you're drilling through some kind of a mountain to get to the other side, you have to understand that that kind of difficulty exists in life, and we have to learn how to deal with it. So it's, I've arrived at a place in my life where there's really nothing that's negative. Everything that takes place is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to find out about myself, about what I need to work through, what I need to do to get to the next level in my spiritual development. When you begin to see the world that way, there's nothing negative. It's just life teaching us what we have to learn. And the really important thing is to listen, learn from it, grow because of what life is showing us. I mean, that's the key to all of this. And then you don't get all upset and blow all your energy, get nervous and, oh, what am I learning here? What is life teaching me at this moment? What can I learn about what I have to do to grow? It took me a long time to learn this, but I'm telling you, it's one of the great lessons I've learned in my life. And then you can calmly deal with whatever takes place, it's your teacher, You can bow to it, you bow to life, embrace life in all its dimensions and whatever it has to teach. Does anyone have a question? If you don't approach life that way, you can't really approach life that way. You have to build an inner life that allows you to organically live that way. It's not something you say, well, I'm going to do this today. It doesn't work. I hear so many people talk about, well, God is love and this and that, and you got to be open, but nobody says you got to build a system inside to be strong enough to do these things. And as you develop that kind of system, understand, you don't get too upset about things. It's all there to teach you about exactly what you need to do to grow. And I think it's wonderful, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the crazy, all the stuff that goes on in this world. It's no longer negative. It's a teacher. It's not even positive. It's a teacher. And then we can use it because we have organically developed an inner life that allows us to live that way.
Stuart, I have a question. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I hear you.
But did you heard me?
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, okay. I noticed that when I meditate, it occurs a lot of noises, like in my place where I am, where you are. And what I feel is like all this distraction feels like a reminder for us to feel that however the surrounding is in movement, we can still find a still center within.
You know,
What do you think about that?
I used to run a meditation center in New York City. New York City is a very noisy place. Hello, are you still there? You disappeared.
Yeah, sorry. It was another distraction. It was a call.
No, I had a very big loft there, 4,000 square foot loft that I lived in, and I also had a big section for people, and I would have anywhere from 50 to 100 people. There was never less than 30, 40 people in a meditation class. And we would be sitting and working, and suddenly fire engines would go by, police sirens, people screaming on the streets.
Right.
And it was all just background noise. It didn't matter. You go so deep inside that you detach yourself. And it's also a good teacher. It teaches you how to detach yourself from all the distractions. You know, so I wouldn't worry about that. If you hear noises, just go a little deeper. And they're not going to interfere with your meditation. The only thing that'll really interfere with your meditation is the noise inside you. Your mind, your yakking, your emotions, that will interfere. But external noise is it's like birds chirping, you know? You just go deep enough inside and you detach yourself from it. I'm telling you, we used to have fire engines go by with sirens, and police cars would go by, and the people screaming on the streets. And I had a huge space. I mean, it was a gigantic space. It was like 4,000 square feet. I don't know what that is in meters, but it was a very, very big space.
Yeah, a lot of acoustic.
No echo, just a lot of noise from the outside. But you know what? It never bothered anyone because we went deeper inside. We got more, and you could detach it. You know, you don't get caught up in it. It doesn't get inside you. It's just out there. It's just out there.
That's what I noticed.
It's a very good way of really learning how to stay focused. All the nonsense, you know, I mean, my country's going crazy now. And and the only way I can deal with it without getting swept away in the madness is I got to stay grounded in myself. You know, and I stay grounded and I can detach from all that and say, what, you know, today it's this, tomorrow it's going to be something else, you know? More importantly, can I use that as a teacher to go deeper and deeper in myself so I learn how to stay detached from all the things that go on in the world and devote myself to the meditation, to, you know, the things that I really have to do that are real for me in my life. So the external, the objective world is your teacher that way. And if you allow it to get into you, it means you haven't built a system yet that is strong enough to be detached from it. And I promise you, when you build that kind of system, you will save yourself a lot of aggravation. I mean it. And a lot of energy that gets caught up in all this crap in the world that eats us alive. And, you know.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome, dear. It's very important to learn this, you know, because otherwise everything. I remember, you know, I wrote a book which Ellie translated into Hebrew called Light in Jerusalem. And I was in Jerusalem when they were having a war with the Lebanese in South Lebanon, with the Hezbollah. I'll never forget this. And I was there for, I don't know, 10 days while this war was going on. And I'll never forget, Jerusalem was simply the most peaceful place I'd ever been in my life. 100 miles away, there's a war going on. And people were emailing me, how could you be there? They're fighting war. I said, my God, you know, it's the most peaceful place I've been in years, Jerusalem. You know? And you know, the only way, Ellie said, the only way you'll know you're in a war is you got to turn on CNN. You know, you'll find out that your country is at war. And, you know, we used to go to restaurants that were Palestinian restaurants and Lebanese restaurants and eat, and everybody was your brother and friend and welcomed you. And 100 miles away, people are fighting a war. And it's very much metaphorical to the way we live. If we're really grounded inside all of that external stuff, and there's certainly a lot of it, it doesn't get into us. And we can focus on really what's important, staying connected with spirit, taking care of our lives, our families, all the situations we have to live with, our jobs, without allowing life to suck us dry. And then all that energy that gets ripped out, it goes towards building a stronger inner life. It's incredible. And you know, and you have this exercise to do, which really teaches how to do this. You know, the chakra system and the whole thing, it really works to do what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I actually noticed that I'm not getting so affected by sounds or movements. And even those two latest sessions here, I even got calls and everything and so much noise. And I could actually find myself be still, and that's wonderful experience. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome, Laura. Just have patience. It takes a little time. Yeah. And you know, you just turn off your telephone also. You know, people can call you back. You know,
will do.
It's time to do what I'm talking about. It doesn't come in 3 classes, 5 classes. It takes time to build that kind of an inner life. And then you do what's important. To me, what's important is a spiritual life. Everything else is secondary. Everything else comes, money, friendships, relationships, all the things, family, it all comes. And the energy of God, the energy of spirit enables me to consciously deal with whatever I have to deal with in my life. But you can't receive that energy if everything in you is being sucked into the outside world. But if you're centered, that energy comes and it gives you the consciousness to deal with all the things you have to deal with in your life. And nothing has you, you know. My teacher always says, it's not to have in life, it's to have and to be free of what you have. And I really like that, because then success, everything is available in life. But does it have you? Is it sucking you dry? Does it become your God? Does money become the God? Do relationships become the God? Or does God, and all the rest of it is karma that you have to learn how to work out happily, you know? And you can't work it out unless you're full of spiritual energy. So it's a combination of learning how to get detached, learning how to draw that energy down, and then allowing that energy to help you work out your life in karma.
True.
It's really, it's an incredible thing. And I'm happy to teach this, because I tell you, frankly, what I'm talking about today saved my life. Just having developed through the studies I did with my teacher, what I'm talking about today, it did more to save my life than just about anything I know. Because I stopped getting caught up in all, if you pardon all the bullshit in the world, you know? Just understood, keep centered, stay grounded. You know, there's all pressure about money. You need money, it'll come. It always does. It always comes. If you stay grounded, you stay open, you do the work you have to do, but you stay grounded while you do it. You don't let it turn you into a nervous wreck. You know?
Yeah.
I always tell this story, you know, just to finish up. When I was living in Texas, this is a story I've told 1,000 times, but maybe some of you haven't heard it. You know, I was running an ashram. My teacher sent me there for 3 weeks. It was the last place in the world I wanted to live on the planet Earth, which is Texas, you know? And he asked me to go and spend 3 weeks there. 6 months later, he came down to visit me. And I said to him, Rudy, this has been a hell of a 3 weeks. And he said to me, you're on your fourth day. And it taught me something so profoundly. You know, took 9 years to work out 3 weeks. So I finally was able to pack up one day and leave Texas. But while I was there, he said to me, I was working 18 hours a day. I set up ashrams all over Texas. I was teaching in prisons and hospitals. I was teaching a course at a university in Kundalini yoga. I mean, it was unbelievable what my week was like. And I'm standing with him on the porch of the ashram, and he said, you're not working hard enough. So I said to him, well, Rudy, what should I do? I mean, he said, buy that building. The building was a small shopping center. So I said, Rudy, I have $600 in the bank. He said, anyone could do with money. So that was his response. You know, a month later, I bought the building. I bought a shopping center in that town. And you know what I learned? Not to be afraid of money. That if you do your inner work and you grow and you really work on yourself, it comes. It really comes. God provides. And it just taught me from that point on, I was never again afraid of money. I knew that whatever situation I would get, it would work. I would use that energy, that infinite, to come down to make my life work out. Well, buy that building. I have $600 to my name. I said, well, anyone could do with money, you know? He's right. You have $100 million. What's the big deal? You can do it. And a month later, I bought the building. And the only reason I bought it is the depth, the focus. So it works in helping you to do it. And I didn't become a nervous wreck. You understand? I wasn't walking around like some crazy person full of tension. It just came because I did the inner work. I mean, that's how I got training from my teacher, by that building, you know? But what I'm saying is that we all have that in us. And we get so caught up in the external things of life that it just sucks our energy out of us. And then letting that negotiate our lives. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes?
I feel much better now than beginning. I can breathe much easier, but I never learned how to work with my back. That is something big I have to.
Well, Flora, it'll come. Have patience, dear. Look how much better you did. The first time you were sitting there, you couldn't even sit for 2 seconds without, you know, and look how you're glowing now. You're really glowing, dear. So have patience with yourself. All of these things will work themselves out. I mean it, you know?
It was very, very hard now, this time, this meditation we had. I know it's deeper and deeper, I can feel, and I know what it is. It's getting better.
Well, then you know more than I know.
but now, today was very, very difficult. I almost threw up.
As I say, some days are difficult. Don't worry about it.
It's 2 o'clock.
Look at how good you look. You know, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, we'll have meditation on Sunday. And try to take all these things deep inside and don't just let it, well, we finished meditation, now I'm going to go and take it with you, you know, remind yourself about all these things and work on yourself just to build that kind of life that I'm talking about. And it's not going to be my life, it's your life. Each and every one of us are unique. We have unique karmas to work out. but we need energy. We need a connection with spirit in order to do it. So please try and take it with you. And God bless you all. And thank you. See the United Nations of Kundalini Yoga. I really love it. It's just unbelievable. I'll see everybody on Sunday. Have a good weekend. God bless you. Thank you.
Bless you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hope your throat getting better.
Thank you.